What's going on, beautiful people? How you guys doing? Today is a big day. Whole lot going on. And things are going to get really crazy this month, but in this week is coming in with a bang. Whew. Oh, I'm sure you guys can feel it, man. This is so we are in Cancer season right now, which in and of itself brings in just such insane amounts of emotion. This is a very emotionally cleansing time. And with that emotional cleansing means that the emotions have to come up. And when it comes up, man, it can be uncomfortable, especially with eclipse season and there's so many layers of things going on. And we're going to get really deep into that. And of course, this week I feel is going to be probably the biggest week of the year. It's going to be an intense month altogether, but this week coming into it, we start off with, of course, the solar eclipse at 10 degrees Cancer. Now, 10 degrees is at the very end of the first decan. So in astrology, we have 3 decans. Every 10 degrees is a decan. So this is finishing up a cycle in Cancer. And when we're finishing up a cycle, it's like everything comes up to purge all these old energies and all these old emotions. Now, with the opposition with the Saturn-Pluto South Node opposition in Capricorn, there's this massive tug of war going on. So the 4th house, which is where the sun and the moon are, represents the home, represents the family. Now, even if you don't have Cancer in the 4th house in your natal chart, the foundation is going to be everybody. Everybody is feeling this, like in regards to their personal power. This energy is opening the heart chakra at a level that we have probably never seen, and we will never see again in our lifetime. Okay, and that is it's a good thing. It's intense, but it can be slightly difficult. All right, here's the thing you want to look out for. If you've been doing the work, if you've been facing these feelings, feeling these uncomfortable things coming up from January till now, then things are going to go smoothish. If you haven't, if you've been suppressing it, if you've been escaping or indulging escapism, right now, what is escapism? Escapism can be just like going to work and not really focusing on what it is that you need to address because it's too uncomfortable. It can be indulging in going out and being overly social. It can be doing really anything that you're like, nah, screw this. I don't want to deal with that. I'll deal with it later. And then you just go have fun. And hey, you might forget about it. You might have fun in that time. But the universe is trying to talk to you. And when you suppress that, the suppression acts like pressure, and the pressure builds up. And eventually, especially during the eclipse time, that pressure, it pops. And when it pops, it sucks. Because you know what? Look, this process right now, the underlying energy is this Pluto-Saturn conjunction that's going to come to its apex in January of next year. Right now, we're sort of like right at the halfway point, okay? And with that opposition, and Saturn is exactly conjunct the South Node, literally within 7 minutes, which is right there at this solar eclipse. And this is a full solar eclipse. So it's like we get upgrades and everything gets shut down, and then it pops back on, right? When it pops back on, we have all these upgrades, but it's like the old world is gone. It's done, whether we like it or not. And if we try to hold on to that old world, it's going to be painful because we're going to invite things in that are going to remind us, hey, that shit's gone, dude. Sorry, no more, right? So on top of having the sun and the moon in Cancer at 10 degrees for this solar eclipse, right around there, On July 1st, we have Jupiter going in retrograde, going back to hitting 16 degrees. Now, when outer planets move to another degree, it's significant. Significant because they move very slowly. Like now, Jupiter is the fastest of the outer, slower moving planets. But even still, coming back to 16 degrees, think about whenever it was at 16 degrees probably last October, November timeframe. Think about what was going on in regards to your belief systems. Those things, we're in by the 8th, we'll be in a quintuple retrograde because Mercury is in shadow, getting ready to go retrograde. So all these internal energies are bringing things from the past, and it's on multiple layers. So if people or ideas or situations are coming up in your consciousness and you're revising or revisiting these energies, you're going to have to look at it a new way. And if you are stuck in these old energies, it's going to get real uncomfortable. Okay, so being true to yourself, being honest with yourself is super critical right now. And looking at these new things that are sort of revision of the old things from the last year coming up into your conscious awareness now to open your heart chakra. With the opening of the heart chakra, in order to be able to open the heart chakra, we must feel the pain that has been suppressed. And with this, the power of this solar eclipse is bringing up a lot of childhood stuff, a lot of things that we learned conditioned behaviors that were embedded into our central nervous system when we were growing up are coming out to be processed and purged. Right now, we are smack in the middle of the biggest transformation of our lives. Okay, no joke. So in the middle of this, I mean, it's sort of like at the point, especially with a lot of clients that I'm working with, everybody's having aches and pains and everybody's stressed out. Everybody's just trying to figure out, how the hell do I get through this? How do I get my balance? Everybody's trying to get balance, but there's like, how do you get balance during an earthquake? You just have to accept that there's an earthquake, right? And there's an earthquake in our hearts, because our hearts are purging, are raising our vibration. The Kundalini energy, especially in Cancer, is being activated like hardcore right now, right? And with that energy, when it comes up and when it expands, that expansive energy, it hurts, right? Because we're used to this like glass ceiling or this bubble around us that is our safety bubble. But the universe is like, we're going to pop that bubble because, it's holding you back. But when we go to pop that bubble, it hurts, right? It's like coming out of the chrysalis. Like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? So we have to adapt and allow the things to change and to allow these upgrades to take effect. But these upgrades are in areas and places and ways that we don't understand. And because we don't understand it, it's scary. It's frustrating. All these fears come up. So we have to process these fears and these pains through our 5 senses in order to embody them. And once we do embody them, though, right, after we get through this month, is just going to be sort of chaos, honestly, emotional chaos. And once we get through this next month, all these new things are going to start to, like the seeds that have been planted, are going to start to grow and start to flourish. We just have to make it through these situations that we're dealing with in our heart. And, it's darkest before dawn. And dawn is going to be towards the end of the month. But right now, we're getting ready to go into the chrysalis, into the darkness, so that we can do this transmutation and transformation. The ascension and the transformation is enabled through the transmutation of these energies. And it's a special skill and a special gift to be able to process these things. So I encourage you that if you're feeling lost or like, what the hell's going on, or I don't know which way to go or how to make a decision right now, sometimes it's good to talk to someone you trust or get a coach, or, hey, get an astrology reading, all right, to identify what lessons you're meant to learn in this process, what to look for within yourself that's holding you back, how you're holding on to this energy, whether it's emotional or physical, in your physical body, experiences and situations that are being magnetized to you that are trying to teach you these lessons that you may not be getting, and what direction to go with this, because it can be very confusing right now, very confusing times, because there's about 5 different layers right now of transformations or changes in energy, I should say. And during these changes, there are also many aspects that are pulling like a tug of war in many different directions. Okay. So take it one step at a time, woo-saw, all that fun stuff. And very, very, very important to stay true and honest with yourself and allow this energy to pass through you. And, you know, you're going to have these fears coming up. Like I know in relationships, I know a lot of people right now, if you're in a relationship, whatever insecurities or whatever fears or whatever discrepancies are in your relationships that are holding you back, all right, or if it's not a solid bond, it's gonna get exposed and it's gonna break down. So if you find yourself in a position where you're in a relationship, then all of a sudden shit's coming out, and you know, like you hear your partner's talking shit, or you hear like gossip or something like that, don't necessarily listen to it, but ask yourself, like, okay, what is this trying to teach me here? Am I staying in this relationship because I'm insecure, because I don't feel good enough, because I'm afraid, or is my partner or my business partner or my whatever, are they ride or die, and do I see myself being successful or growing with them and evolving with them in the future? Right now, the things that are coming in are either going to help us grow and evolve, or they're going to hold us back, and it's going to get painfully obvious, and it's going to suck. But it's going to suck because it's forcing us to let go, right? It's like we're holding on for dear life, but some things we're not supposed to hold on to. So stop holding on to it. Okay? So, right. Also, on the same day as the solar eclipse, we have Mars going into 0 degrees of Leo. Now, so today it's actually at 29 degrees. All right. 29 degrees of Cancer with Mars. That's frustration. That's irritation. So right now, that's another layer going on where Mars is, you know, we want to get there, we want to do it, but Mars and Cancer can be sort of passive aggressive. Okay, so with that passive aggressiveness, we want to see that in ourselves and ask us, why the hell are we being passive aggressive about this? But once Mars goes into Leo, it's going to like switch into, you know, action mode and become more confident, be like, all right, I get it, let's go for it, let's do this. And with Mars at 0 degrees during a solar eclipse, that is gonna like supercharge that energy. It's a massive, like Mars is impulsive. It's instinctual. It's the warrior, right? It wants to run. It wants to you know, shoot first and ask questions later. Okay, which can be good, but also can be bad. So as long as if you're responding and not reacting, is an important thing to understand with that process. But this is infusing the solar eclipse with this energy of action. Let's go. Let's make it happen. Let's move forward with purging these emotions. It might make you just want to like say fuck it and dive right in, but you want to be careful with that too, because diving right into your emotions, like all of a sudden, what the fuck's going on? I don't know what's happening. So just be advised and be careful and make sure that you don't make too impulsive decisions. A lot of stuff's going to be changing this week. Okay, a lot of stuff. What's up, Christelle? You have Mars and Leo. Wow. All right. So you're going to be having a Mars return during this process. That's wicked. Hell yeah. Also, let's see. With this opposition to Saturn, Pluto, and the South Node, with Saturn exactly conjunct the South Node, this is like the veil. The veil is super, super thin. Okay. So your dreams, especially we have what Neptune is also trine. Oh my God. Neptune is trine this solar eclipse. And it's also square to Jupiter still. So this Neptune-Jupiter square creates confusion. It creates like it's breaking apart our belief systems in order to dissolve it and rebuild it into a stronger, more efficient, higher vibration one. Okay. And that goes along with, you know, opening our heart chakra. So being trine to the north node, that's opening us up to, like, you know, being available to receive this energy. But we have to consciously be aware and ready to receive this stuff too. Okay. So Chiron is also square this solar eclipse. Oh my God. So this is really where that childhood trauma is going to come up. I mean, Chiron is in Aries. Aries is about the identity. It's about the self. Okay. So with that being square in the fourth house, when it comes to home and family, the divine mother, it comes to our household, it comes to our community, it comes to allowing to receive that divine feminine energy. You know, it's a difficult aspect, but it's a positive one, because this is forcing us to grow. Whether we like it or not, you're growing. Let's go. Make it happen. Uranus is sextile. This is just these, and each one, like Chiron is a layer, Uranus is a layer, Saturn is a layer, Pluto is a later. Jupiter is sesquiquadrate to the north node. So purging past life stuff, even. Okay, just massive, massive. And all the while, we have Mars and Mercury basically conjunct here for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. And so Mars is aggression. It's let's go, take action. Mercury is communication. It's cerebral. It's seeing both sides of the story. It's getting clarity, but also maybe too much information. This could cause irritability and more confusion, with the Neptune being square to Jupiter. Okay. And with Jupiter moving back to 16 degrees, that's going a step. If you picture like a staircase, the vision I'm getting right now is the retrograde planets. We're going up, we're going down some stairs, like we dropped something a while ago, right? We're going back down the stairs, go pick it up. But we're dropping to another stair, and the outer planets, when we go down the stair, each step is teaching us a lesson. So we're going to another depth of learning that lesson. And then I believe next month it goes direct, and that's where we can start to advance again and finally start getting towards the Capricorn and all that fun stuff that's going to happen later on in the year. But for right now, also, we have, let's see. So July 3rd, we have Venus entering Cancer. So Venus is coming into this fourth house. So much activity is going on in the fourth house. It's ridiculous. And that's why I'm saying that this is bringing up so much heart, so much pain. I mean, in the collective consciousness, but this pain is awakening people. So you can expect this next week for a shit ton of people to wake up, to finally see, like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? Understanding, or really all of a sudden not understanding anything. With Venus coming into this mix, you know, Venus in Cancer is good. It's positive. Okay. But we have a lot of these master degrees. Like, master degrees are 28, 29, and 0. That's like right at the beginning and right at the end of each sign is where the energy really gets saturated, really gets powerful. 0 degrees is like the 0 point. When you see 0, 0, 0, that's like the universe, like, wiping the slate clean with that energy. Venus is, of course, our is physical beauty. It's our self-confidence. It's our self-worth. It is our relationship to power and money. Okay, so coming into the fourth house, it's how do we emotionally feel about ourselves? Do we feel like we need that validation from the outside world to fit in, or are we okay? Are we solid in our heart space and ourself, right? So these are like, there's about 5 or 6 different layers within the heart chakra that are being examined and opened up to really, under a microscope, look at, okay, what the hell's going on? Where are we in our life? And are we on or off track? It's almost like everybody right now is going through a Saturn return. But this is more intense because it's awakening the entire collective to move up to that 5D dimension. You know, all these third dimensional lower chakra energies, you know, the third dimension is basically living out of the lower three chakras, the base, the sacral, and the solar plexus. And that's basically our fight or flight. That's our reptilian brain. That's our impulse. That's ego driven society, right? Fifth dimension is living from the fourth chakra up. That's the higher mind. That's the higher consciousness. That's having divine guidance. That's following God, the universe, source, Allah, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing, really. You know, so this is forcing us to grow. And, you know, some people won't make it because when that Kundalini energy, like that's basically what's going on. An awakening process is a Kundalini awakening. And when that energy comes up through the root, from the root chakra, through all the different energy centers, if we have massive blockages there, it's going to make things much worse, or it's going to clear it out and get much better. This is where, like, if you're too blocked up, this is where diseases are going to happen. This is where, like, IBS and digestive issues and, you know, cancer and autoimmune diseases, that's where these start to manifest, because those are physical manifestations of the energetic imbalances in our body. So we need to really take care of ourselves. Like self-care, yeah, it's sort of like a gimmick and it's like kind of cheesy to say, but it's so important because without self-care, our energy can't evolve. It can't wake up. Our DNA is waking up. It's evolving. And as we activate this DNA, weird shit happens. Like extrasensory perceptions are becoming potent. They're becoming powerful. You know, every third person out there now is a psychic or is like a medium or like, you know, is look at me. I'm doing astrology and I used to compete in bodybuilding. You know, like all these things are exposing our real, true, heartfelt gifts that we have. And the people that have been doing the work, if you're watching this, there's a good chance you're doing the work. So good job. Congratulations. So continue to do the work. The work is so important right now. Self-care will allow the body to receive this energy and to open up and to heal. We are healing ancestral wounds. You know, they say that every generation carries seven generations back and 7 generations forward. Well, I guarantee we're clearing out that 7 generations in this lifetime. We are here for a reason, for a very specific purpose. And we are doing the work of many generations of people before us. So as we do this work, we have to be smart and we have to love ourselves, and not necessarily a selfish way, but in a way that is like the analogy of being on an airplane. You know, we have to put our own oxygen mask on first before we put it on somebody else, because if we do that, we're going to die. And that's self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice is unhealthy. It's not good for us. So when we stay focused on our own mission and then take that abundant extra energy and give it out to the rest of the world, that's where the success, that's where the change comes into place. That's when we actually evolve, because we are evolving into a new consciousness. The children that are being born right now are going to be the leaders of this new level of consciousness. Hopefully, we're going to be able to turn it around before it's too late, because Lord knows this world is falling to shit. But it's going to have to get worse before it gets better. And this whole process of all this technology that's coming out and all these new ideas, like all these political agendas being played out, it's absolutely nuts. People are losing their mind. Some of these laws that are being passed, I do not understand the thought process or what the hell's going on for these things to actually pass. I mean, like older white men making rulings on women's bodies, on abortion, and these pharmaceutical companies. I mean, I could go on for days about that. Okay, but I mean, good Lord, people, this is not. So we have to stand up. We are the voice, and doing this self-care, this inner work to bring out and step into every single day, into our environment, with our loved ones, with the people that we care about, to show by taking action in our daily lives is how we change the world. And this month is going to show us where we are not taking care of ourselves. Okay? And as we go through this process, it's going to suck. It's going to hurt. We have to purge more stuff, but then it's going to be coming faster and faster. So when we open up, it's like we're an exposed nerve energetically. So we may open up and then all of a sudden some more shit's going to hit us. We're like, whoa, where the hell did that come from? Right? And then we have to readjust and take care of ourselves and then come back. We may have crazy dreams. I had an insane dream last night. I woke up feeling like I was literally in the middle of an earthquake. It was nuts. And, you know, it scared the crap out of me. I'm like, and then I looked at my dream calculator. Like, what the hell does earthquake mean? And it meant something bad about business, but I'm not going to pay attention to that because, you know, like maybe it means something else. That one dream dictionary could be wrong. Who knows? You know, but we can get in our heads like that, right? So things can happen and we can look at it as a sign and be like, oh shit, things are going to go crazy, go wrong. Maybe the earthquake happened because it's shaking up my foundation to bring in a better, a new one. It all depends on our thought process, and our thought process is going to be tested. This solar eclipse is going to test our thought process with our heart to see if the heart and the mind can get on the same page. And in many ways, it probably already is, but in many ways, it probably still needs to. Okay? So don't get discouraged with all this craziness going on. Okay? If you have aches and pains in your body, go do a float tank session, or go get a massage, or go work out, or go do some yoga, or go, I don't know, climb up the side of a mountain, like do some rock climbing. You know, go float down a river, something where you can let this energy just sort of flow through you. Okay? Because sitting around like and isolating yourself and becoming a hermit is the worst thing that you can do right now. We have to include the people that we love and bring those relationships closer to our we have to bring the people that we love and that really support us closer with us and solidify that bubble, those emotional boundaries. Like, we know what we want. We know who we love. We know what we care for. We know what direction we're going. We know what we need to do. And whatever is sort of like, you know, questionable, like basically the gap is splitting right here. And the solar eclipse is a major threshold point of that fork in the road. So people that don't belong in our life, that shit's going to happen. It's going to go bye-bye. The people that do belong in our life, new people, new situations, new opportunities are going to come into our lives. And it's going to teach us a whole new way of being. We're leveling up. So, you know, you may be presented with new opportunities that you're like, holy shit, this is going to take more responsibility. How am I going to do this? How am I going to make it happen? Right? You can. Whatever opportunities come in are going to challenge you to step up to the next level. So make sure that you stay true to your heart and ask yourself, okay, this opportunity, what I want, and can I do it? And when those fears come up, like, you know what? I know I'm good. I know I can do it. So don't back down from the fear, but also try not to be too impulsive with your decision making. Okay. So with all that being said, as the week progresses, we're also going to be having the sun moving closer to Saturn, the South Node, and Pluto. So, man. So basically, this solar eclipse is like starting this month off with a bang. Then it's going to move forward, and that energy, that tug of war between the sun and Saturn, it's going to have us look at, okay, what belief systems, what structures do we need to let go of? What is not working here? There's something emotionally within us that is not working, and it needs to be brought up. We need to look at it. Okay. They say the longest journey is from the head to the heart. And I couldn't agree more, you know? So many people, like, we live in a society today that is go, go, go. Everybody's always going, right? And technology feeds that. Everybody's distracted. Everybody's just got 30 hours of work to do in 16-hour time frame. It's too much. So we have to learn time management. We have to learn how to be able to bridge this gap of all these demands on us. You know, Pluto and Saturn are demanding our best, are demanding us to step up to the plate to change this world. And the sun is our most fundamental or foundational energy, right? And going through Cancer, it's emotional. We want to, on one side, we want to be able to have a redecorate or redo our household, our family, our foundational bubble situation. We want to reinforce it. But then on the other side, we want to work, we want to make money, we want to, do whatever it is that we want to do out in this world. And, we can't do all of both. And this tug of war is going to really identify what things we can't fit in there anymore. Anything that's superfluous in our life is going to get thrown out. So what does that mean? So we have a life purpose. Everyone does. At least I believe that. Okay. And with this kind of energy, only the things that are 100% meant to be in our life and to bring us forward into our future, into that 5D, into that higher consciousness, we only have enough energy to take that stuff with us. So what else is not is extra, like say like we like to go out and party, or like I don't know, you're on Tinder and like you're talking to 5 or 6 different people, like all that shit's got to go, because it's distraction. We're all searching for something, but the default for many people these days is to search outside of yourselves, right? But all the answers are within, and that's what this solar eclipse is telling us, that no more looking outside ourselves for answers. We need to turn around and look within and be honest with ourselves, okay? Because that kind of stuff is a distraction. Even with like job searching, you're going to start to go around. If you don't know what you want to do for business or for your life, you keep going to all these places that aren't right for you. You're gonna hit roadblocks every single direction, every single way, every single time, and then you might get an opportunity and it might be the wrong one. So we really have to, that comes down to being brutally honest. If things are not working in your life, if things are just struggle and hard, then you're lying to yourself. That's the main message I have here for you guys. We have to stop lying to ourselves. Okay. So on July 4th, yes, on July 4th, Uranus will enter 6 degrees of Taurus. Now, I would like to pull up the inside degrees to talk about that degree, and also the degree of the new moon, because both energies are interacting with each other in a, I believe it's a trine or a sextile. And okay, so let's see here. 6 degrees of Taurus. 6 degrees of Taurus is where Uranus is going now, and this is representing our self-worth, our personal growth in our value system, our confidence, our self-confidence, how we approach money, how we approach our confidence in approaching life. Okay, 6 degrees of Taurus. This is an evolution of our energy. It's a pink diamond. The heart feels everything. It burns with a fever. Inside the burning, something marvelous is forming. Grace permits the realization of the heart's desire. You become a vessel to demonstrate, to share the beauty, the love, and the light. Yet all of this is implicit, is inherent, is inward. It is not seen by our outer eyes. You are warming through slowly, contemplatively, those qualities of soul that are best entered upon free from reflection. The inner life is rich beyond measure, with seeds which will be fertilized and are given forth in the fullness of time, with the consummate touch of having been through the fire to attain what is true and lasting. So this goes literally a day after this solar eclipse, which is infusing us with this beautiful heart energy. This is giving us, see, Uranus is the game changer, right? It's that lightning bolt that comes down and changes everything, right? It breaks apart old paradigms. So when we have this going on and it's breaking apart all this dense energy, it opens us up and allows us to feel it burns with a fever. Inside the burning, something marvelous is forming. So this is good. Now, the other side to that. So this is an aspect with 10 degrees of Cancer. We're going to go 10 degrees of Cancer now. 10 degrees of Cancer is a violent hailstorm. You can already see where this is going. Great disruption serves long-term continuity. By submitting yourself periodically to excruciating soul ordeals, to sever tests and trials, You make sure that your destiny is self-renewing. You pull in at these junctures what is alien or strange or far removed from your own way of being. By suffering the imposition of the dark stranger, you completely shake up all smug structures. Much of your life is keyed into enduring under onslaught, being able to form yourself into one who can encompass absolutely anything. The path indicated is neither chaotic nor random. It is sharply pointed to take on experiences and lessons that are needed and fully transmute the karmic sequences. You have a core commitment to tackling the hard stuff with a fury of intent that is just enough to make the whole thing work, revealing that you can do the impossible if your will is singular and your inner strength to go the distance is as solid and real as any obstacle, and even more so. So this basically says everything that we were just talking about here for the last half an hour. We must stay focused on the life purpose at hand. And we must bring in closer all the people that are meant to be with us, moving forward in that life purpose. And this is like the phoenix rising from the ashes. I mean, a caterpillar going into the chrysalis and coming out the other side of butterfly. But a part of us has to die in the process, right? This is a great disruption that is serving long-term continuity. This is necessary for our soul growth, to come into who we're meant to be. So we have to surrender. We have to allow this energy to open us up and to bring us forward into this new life that is starting this month. The transformation that is required for our new beginning is the apex of this transformation is this month-long process. Okay? So we are just moving right along here. Now, also with that new Uranus, energy coming in the next day, it's going to square Chiron is going to square Venus. Okay, so we have this new infusion of all this, ready to kill it and ready to move into a deeper state of love. Chiron and Venus. Chiron is a deep wound. Venus is love, right? And now Venus is inside Cancer. So all this Chiron energy just keeps hitting all these different planets in Cancer. And it just, every time it's digging. It's just digging deeper and deeper, excavating our heart center. So the heart chakra, look up any way that you can open up your heart chakra. Use essential oils, use whatever you can. And stay centered in your heart and be brutally honest with yourself. You do that, and this month is going to bring you so many new beginnings and new blessings that you couldn't even imagine it right now. Okay, this energy is just there's so many layers. It's so intense. Also, during this process, we have Jupiter sesquiquadrate to the North Node and Neptune sesquiquadrate Mercury, Mars, and trine the North Node. Okay. The sesquiquadrate, it's an energy of restriction, okay? But it's restriction to help us step up and to move forward. And that restriction is in our mind, okay? With the North Node, the restriction is being opened up and torn open to see more clearly where we're going. So make sure that you honor yourself this week and take care of yourself, but also take no shit, okay? This is designed to strengthen and solidify our emotional boundaries. So and it's an inside job. We need to all stick together. We need to all do this work together so that we can grow and learn and continue to help humanity and to see the next level, the next side of things. But when we're going through the process, we can't see it. We don't know. So we have to have faith. So at the core of all this work is our ability to surrender and to have faith. Okay? So please feel free on YouTube to comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know how your experience is going on this week, because it's going to be fucking gnarly, let me tell you. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the changes. I'm nervous at the same time because I am already feeling it super strong. My sun is at 10 degrees, 41 minutes of Capricorn, which is within 3 minutes opposed to this solar eclipse. So, for me, that really has to do with relationships, the close relationships I have in my life. And I'm seeing things are changing and blowing up and solidifying in good and surprising ways all over the place. And I'm grateful for it, you know, but it's hard work, dude. Like, this is not easy work. This is not for the faint of heart. And the people, we need an already a strong foundation in our heart in order to be able to take this disruption, this disruptive, chaotic, crazy, dissolving kind of energy to grow through it. Yeah. So I think that's all I got for you guys. I definitely appreciate you, you know, checking me out and, you know, supporting me in this process. And, you know, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I do truly appreciate it. If you'd like an astrology reading with me, please go to trinityfitnessastrology.com. All right. I will see you guys next week. Much love. Stay blessed.